tonight. A groundbreaking initiative in Estevan for solar power. Who two U of R profs feel the Bell Data Center should partner with. And discussing new crime strategies in Pelican Narrows.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. Following 3 recent homicides, the province is re-examining its approach to crime in the community of Pelican Narrows. This fall, the RCMP will be deploying officers on rotation out of Saskatoon to Pelican Narrows and northeastern Saskatchewan. The Minister of Community Safety says this model has already been implemented in Cumberland House, Deschambault Lake and Wollaston Lake. The Saskatchewan Marshals Service deployed to the Pelican Narrows area this week, doing proactive patrols and warrant apprehension. Next week, the Marshals Service will be back in Pelican Narrows working with RCMP. The province is also discussing new strategies for RCMP crime reduction teams.
Seeing how we can have the crime reduction teams get up into Pelican Narrows, on sort of a semi-regular but still somewhat random basis and collect information to help them get deeper into the situation, drug trafficking that's happening in that community.
The Minister of Community Safety says this year the province committed additional funding to the First Nations Community Safety Officer Program. Meanwhile, RCMP Major Crimes investigating what it's calling a suspicious death on Mistawasis First Nation. Shelburne RCMP responded to a report of a dead man in a rural area on the First Nation. The investigation is in its early stages and police have not released any additional information, nor the identify of the deceased. RCMP advises the community of an increased police presence and will release additional details when available. Anyone with information which could assist investigators is asked to contact RCMP or Crime Stoppers. Regina police charging a man who defrauded several victims with losses exceeding $50,000. According to RPS, several customers hired the company Sask Abatement for a series of varying contract work, including renovations or landscaping. And after receiving quotes and contracts for the proposed projects, victims paid deposits through bank draft or e-transfer. However, some projects never started, while others were only partially completed, with several properties left with unfinished work after the contractor stopped attending the work site. As a result, Jeremy Jordan is facing charges of fraud over $5,000, criminal breach of trust, and laundering proceeds of crime. He made his first court appearance yesterday. Police in Saskatoon have arrested a man after an incident of voyeurism on the University of Saskatchewan campus. The university says the incident happened yesterday morning at a convocation ceremony at Merlis Belcher Place. Police say multiple reports were made about a man taking inappropriate photos of women without their consent. 45-year-old Mark Drapek was arrested and charged with voyeurism. The university says it has zero tolerance for this type of behavior and is working with police on the investigation. Drapek is expected to appear at Saskatoon Provincial Court on July the 6th. A high-profile impaired driving case in Saskatoon will not be appealed any further. On September 9th, 2021, 9-year-old Bailey Maurice was riding her scooter through a marked crosswalk at 33rd Street West in Saskatoon when she was hit and killed by Taylor Kennedy's truck. Kennedy was charged with impaired driving exceeding the prescribed blood drug concentration of THC, causing death. A judge stayed the charge, ruling that Kennedy was not tried within a reasonable time. The Crown appealed the decision, but it was also dismissed. The Crown tells CTV News after careful consideration, it has determined there is no basis for a further appeal to the Supreme Court of Canada. An Alberta mother and daughter killed in an impaired driving crash on Highway 11 near Dundurn are being honored. As CTV's Stacey Hine tells us, their family hopes sharing their story will prevent drivers from getting behind the wheel while impaired.
Memorial signs honoring Laura and Jamie Hanna go up on Highway 11 near Dundurn. The mother and daughter were killed on this stretch of highway on October 19th, 2024. While on their way to a funeral in Moose Jaw, their vehicle was hit by a truck driving on the wrong side of the road. Rianne Hanna says it was around midnight when officers arrived at her door with the news that her mother and sister had died.
I started shaking and fully entered shock. Almost immediately, I switched into survival mode. Felt like I couldn't fall apart yet. I had people to call, family notifying, decisions to make.
Last year, then 33-year-old Brittany Berry pleaded guilty to driving over the legal alcohol limit, causing death. Because her 2 children were injured in the crash, she also pleaded guilty to driving over the legal limit, causing bodily harm. Rianne says people often hear about impaired driving cases, but not the heartbreak families live with long after the crash.
Don't see birthdays where loved ones never get to blow out candles on their cakes. They don't see the countless times you reach for your phone to call your mom or sister to tell them something exciting, only to remember that you can't.
MAD Canada says the signs serve as a reminder of the real people and families impacted by impaired driving.
This is such an important tribute, and we just must do all that we can to stop impaired driving. And so asking people to be smart about their decisions.
Rianne hopes Laura and Jamie's story will prevent others from getting behind the wheel impaired.
It sucks the way everything has gone, but it's nice that they could have a positive effect on other people, in a sense.
She remembers her mother as funny, kind-hearted, and always willing to help others, and her sister as brave, independent, and strong. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Dundurn.
2 professors at the University of Regina's Johnson Shoyama Graduate School of Public Policy are raising questions about the new data center under development near Regina. Justin Longo and Margot Hulbert have written a policy paper focused on digging into the benefits that the center will share with the province of Saskatchewan, along with partnership structures to consider, with Hulbert using the example of a Sask Polytechnic as a potential partner.
I know that the hands-on learning and experience of seeing a data center and linking the services it's providing in data sovereignty and security in Canada, as well as our AI that we're running, actually seeing the technical pieces fit together is a really important learning opportunity for students.
Hulbert adding that there are many more things that should be looked into being leveraged with the building of the data center. Bell Canada, the proponent behind the data center, is the parent company of CTV News. Water levels on the South Saskatchewan River are expected to increase in the coming days, and the rising water is actually a welcome change for some after 5 years of drought. Keenan Sorkon has those details.
The South Saskatchewan River is set to hit its highest levels in 6 years, changing this riverbed from silt and sandbars to a deep-flowing river once again.
It'll finally, after 5 years, we hope, move a lot of this sand out and then clean out the valley and kind of return it to its natural condition.
The Water Security Agency has opened the Gardner Dam spillways for the first time since 2020, and that's music to the ears of Mike Estevan, who wasn't able to sail the Prairie Lily once last year because of sandy conditions in the river. He's asked the Water Security Agency to do this many times last year, and now his wishes are coming true.
It's bad for all when we have conditions like that, so it's good for everybody to see this happening now.
The typical flow is about 160 cubic meters per second, but by next Thursday, water levels are expected to be 700 cubic meters per second. At that level, officials warn only people who are very comfortable on fast-moving waters should be in the river.
At that flow rate, only those who are extremely proficient on the water, and particularly in whitewater conditions, should be comfortable using the river in that way.
While the Prairie Lily is getting ready to set sail, a river moving 10 times as fast as last year is too unsafe for the canoe club.
If you aren't used to fighting the current as is, 700 is going to be very difficult, and we don't want to see you floating downstream and not being able to get back.
The river is expected to rise by more than half a meter in Saskatoon when levels peak next weekend, but more could be coming.
If the Rocky Mountain snowpack comes out like we anticipate, there'll be yet another high water event in another 2 or 3 weeks.
Estevan and his crew will do one more check in the river on Monday, and if water flows keep increasing like expected, the Prairie Lily will restart its sailing season on Tuesday. Keenan Sorkon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Well, Well, Sabine, we're not going to see a river in Estevan on the weekend, but we might see maybe a small brook down the street because they're going to get a lot of rain coming their way.
Yeah, as of right now, the active weather that's coming into the southeast or anticipated to arrive in the southeast by tomorrow evening is looking like, we're going to see quite a bit. By Monday, it was looking up to about 60 millimeters of rain between tomorrow into Monday morning. But we'll talk more about that coming up in your full forecast, because today we didn't really have much active weather. It was, we saw a little bit more cloud cover than usual, and we did see those temperatures climb above average for many parts of Saskatchewan, including Regina. The average is 22 degrees. We warmed up to 26 degrees, and heading into this evening, well, even the cool down is looking like we'll see it above the average. Now, there are some severe thunderstorm watches in effect for western Saskatchewan. You can see just around that Lloydminster area. That system is expected to make its way into Saskatchewan later this evening and head more into the northeast. But in terms of what's to come for the south, I'll have details coming up. Lee?
Thank you, Sabine. Well, tomorrow is the anniversary of the D-Day landings at Juno Beach during World War II.
Order, march! 1 stop, 2 stop, 3 stop, 4.
Members of the Royal Regina Rifles conducted parade rehearsal last night at the Armory. The regiment stormed Juno Beach on D-Day and took the most ground of any unit. They want their marching and drill to be perfect for a ceremony on Saturday to remember the regiment's wartime exploits and memorialize those who died. The regiment commemorates the D-Day invasion every year with a ceremony at the Cenotaph in Victoria Park.
We do this by making sure that by our presence and the fact that we as a regiment will never forget the exploits of those brave fighting men that took the beach that day. We will never forget the ultimate sacrifice of those that fell to take that beach.
Public is welcome to attend a D-Day commemoration ceremony on Saturday afternoon in Victoria Park. If you get there by 2:40, you'll see the skirmishers clearing the parade ground before the regiment marches on. Meanwhile, in Yorkton, grade 12 students joined the local Legion to clean and decorate graves today. Their efforts aim to honor the resting places of those who served Canada while commemorating D-Day. Before beginning, students received a bit of a brief history and protocol lesson from Legion members. They learned about the ash ceremony, a unique Yorkton tradition, the sequence of events, and the importance of honoring those who served on a battlefield and beyond. The students begin their work by adding flags and crosses to the graves and then proceed to clean.
Because I think young people should know what their forefathers did, so that the young people have the freedom of speech, the freedom to do exactly what they want. And this is one way of them learning as to what their forefathers did for them.
Yorkton's D-Day Memorial and Parade will start at the cemetery on Saturday at 6:15 p.m. Well, to mark the start of Pride Week in Regina, the Pride flag was raised outside Regina City Hall today. Dozens of people came out to show their support. Tons of events planned for the next week, including a drag brunch on Sunday, a Pride in Sport discussion on Thursday, and of course, the Pride Parade. It's on June 13th.
I think it is so important for all of us to be out here for the flag raising and to be visible in the city, especially for those who are out and proud and want to celebrate who they are, but especially for those who are at home and scared right now because they don't want to reveal who they are because they're too scared to right now in this political climate.
There was a bit of a small protest at the event, not protesting the rising of the flag, but to protest the city and police for changing the route of the Pride Parade. Celebrating the excellence of Indigenous youth was front and center at the Connexus Arts Centre. Damien Smith introduces us to a few of the winners that are making a difference.
It's the 28th edition of the Sask Indigenous Youth Awards, highlighting the achievements and contributions of young Indigenous people from across Saskatchewan.
Which is really great because that means we have a lot of nominees, a lot of great Indigenous youth, and it is getting more and more difficult to win because we do only give out 10. I have to say the quality continues to be just outstanding.
There were 10 award winners in 5 different categories, including arts and science, culture and community, outstanding academic achievement, sports and recreation, as well as leadership.
It's kind of just a surprise. I mean, I was so happy to represent my family. I was with my mom and my dad, and they all were proud. They're really proud of me.
Winners are reflecting on the role models that guided them to these achievements.
Oh, that would definitely be my mother. She's the one who helped me find my voice, and she helped me do my first speech actually for employment. I talked about Indigenous employment.
Grade 9 student Liam Wolf is a traditional dancer striving to be a role model for Indigenous youth.
Growing up, I kind of had, a lot of friends that are around me that didn't really pick the best choices. I had exposure to different experiences.
Speaking to the crowd was natural for Wolf, who's a keynote speaker in Saskatchewan communities, promoting work ethic and commitment to a positive and healthy lifestyle.
Talk a little bit about the importance of walking what we like to call a red road. The meaning behind that is, walking a sober and, clean alcohol and drug-free lifestyle. Break away from that, that evil spirit, that drug and alcohol spirit.
According to Sask, they had over 100 applications this year. Of the 10 winners, 5 of them are from the Regina area, and the other 5 are from the Saskatoon area. Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
And it's that time of year for Yorkton residents. Every Thursday, City Centre Park is playing host to Downtown Culture Fest. The event returned yesterday for its 6th year. It runs every Thursday through June. Opening night celebrated Indigenous cultures. The park busy with vendors, performances, educational experiences, shopping, and of course, delicious bannock. In the coming weeks, the city will embark on a cultural journey with Ukraine, the Philippines, India, and Jamaica.
We see babies in strollers, we see 80-year-olds with canes. It's just really like a family-friendly event, and we see all different ages coming together. And I think it's all about learning about the cultures that we live and work within, because our demographics in our community has changed so much, and it's an opportunity to learn and appreciate different cultures.
So next Thursday, Downtown Culture Fest will return to celebrate Ukrainian culture. Still ahead, Ottawa sends out the groceries and essentials benefit to eligible Canadians. And the increasing cost of diesel continues to be an issue across Canada. Well, Estevan is a city of energy known for oil, coal, and soon Saskatchewan's largest solar facility. Today, a sod-turning ceremony was held at the site where panels will cover nearly a section of land just west of the city. Wayne Mantika was there and has more.
Estevan is Canada's sunshine capital and has been chosen as home for Saskatchewan's largest solar power facility.
As a solar developer, there are very few days when we're happier than a day like today. A bright Saskatchewan sky, a groundbreaking ceremony.
Solar panels capable of producing 100 megawatts of electricity will cover nearly a section of land just west of Estevan. Construction has started.
The Turning Sun Solar Project has a lot of significance for Sask Power because it marks the largest, by far, and the first 100 megawatt solar facility.
It's a joint venture between the Ocean Man First Nation and a solar power company.
We need to be a part of what's happening in our territory, and I'm not going to let anybody forget that. And if you want good partnership, to have good relations, come and talk to us.
Electricity will be produced to supply 25,000 homes on a sunny day. The federal government is contributing $15 million toward the project, which meets clean energy objectives.
As government policy, we are ramping up renewable energy. You've heard our Prime Minister and our Energy Minister say we want to be a conventional energy superpower as well as a renewable energy superpower.
The main drawback of solar energy is that it works best on sunny days, but there is the option of adding battery storage. It's not included on this project, but Sask Power says it's something that may be considered in the future. Wayne Mantika, CTV News near Estevan.
Some financial relief arrived today for millions of Canadians in the form of a one-time GST top-up payment. The federal government's new Canada Groceries and Essentials benefit was sent directly to those who are eligible, worth up to more than $500 for families. Heather Wright breaks down who qualifies.
Peppers, tomatoes, and lettuce are just some of what Sylvie Gagne grows in her backyard. Fresh produce that takes some pressure off her grocery bill.
It's nice to have fresh stuff and just go in the backyard and get it.
According to a report from TD Bank, grocery prices are roughly 30% higher today than they were in 2019. To address the soaring costs, the federal government unveiled the Canada Groceries and Essentials benefit back in January. It's essentially a revamped version of the GST HST credit, with the addition of a one-time top-up payment that began going out today.
It's a significant amount of money, checks up to $533 today for a family of 4.
The program also includes quarterly payments, which Ottawa is boosting by 25% over the next 5 years, aimed at helping lower-income families keep up with rising costs. Who qualifies and how much they might receive all depends on individual or household income. But a single individual could receive a maximum of $679. A married couple could receive up to $890, while a family could receive up to $234 more per eligible child.
I think that the top-up is a really positive sign that the government is thinking seriously about how grocery affordability is impacting Canadians. But there's a lot more that we can be doing.
Michael Widener is a planning professor at the University of Toronto. Among the things he wants to see changed is where Canada gets the bulk of its food from, especially given our reliance on the United States.
We need to think more strategically about where that food is going to come from in the future and what we can grow here in Canada.
And if you qualify for this benefit, there's nothing you need to do. If you're registered for direct deposit, the funds will be put into your account. If not, a check will be mailed to your home. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Weeks in Canada, but that relief is mixed with some bad news. Diesel fuel continues to climb in many parts of the country. Paul Hollingsworth has more on the continued pain being felt at the pumps.
Kevin Nickerson says he's paying too much for fuel, and not just when he fills up his truck.
Hot water even, so all summer we're burning. So the price of home oil and everything.
According to fuel analyst Dan McTagg, the war with Iran continues to put a pinch on diesel markets, causing supply and demand pressures.
It means that diesel, which is the global workhorse for all fuel, is going to remain high.
This tourism executive says the season is off to a good start, but he's bracing for the possible long-term effects of rising jet fuel costs being passed on to travelers.
That would, in time, potentially discourage people from wanting to continue to travel here.
As food gets shipped across Canada, diesel prices are being absorbed by trucking companies and grocery stores, resulting in some food becoming more expensive.
Diesel is impacting the P&P at the grocery store, protein and produce.
Shopper Noriko Ewing says she has no choice but to pay more for the groceries her family needs.
So we need it, so we buy it, even expensive.
According to Sylvain Charlebois, the cost of food being impacted by diesel prices varies across the country. Some remote areas like the prairies or here in the Maritimes are being hit with bigger price increases compared to other places. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
The Sunwing Vacations Group has announced it is suspending operations in Cuba indefinitely. This includes Sunwing Vacations, WestJet Vacations, and WestJet Vacations Quebec. The company announced in April it would temporarily cut Cuban operations, but said they would resume in October. But in a statement today, it says it will reach out to travelers with existing bookings to arrange an alternate destination or a full refund. Sunwing did not give a specific reason, but Cuba has been dealing with a severe fuel crisis driven by a U.S. blockade. Russian President Vladimir Putin has responded to Thursday's letter from Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, who wants to hold face-to-face talks to end the war. Today, Putin shrugged off the invitation.
So I'll take that as a no, that you are not going to meet the author of the letter.
Пока не вижу смысла.
Putin said, quote, "I don't see the point yet," when he spoke at Russia's annual economic forum. He also said Zelensky's letter contained some rude remarks and did not come across as a sincere offer to hold talks. Zelensky's letter marks the first time he's written to Putin directly since Russia launched its full-scale invasion more than 4 years ago. And Anthony Head, the British actor famous for his roles in shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Ted Lasso, and Merlin, has died. He was 72 years old.
Shall I be giving you the line-up card now, Ted? I shall be putting your Basanya back on defence where he belongs.
That's exactly what I said, didn't I?
Head, best known for his role as Giles, a mentor and surrogate father figure to Buffy. Younger fans recognize him for this. Rupert, the wealthy villain from Ted Lasso. His daughter said he died peacefully, surrounded by family after complications from pneumonia. Still ahead, meet a Prince Albert boy who isn't letting Duchenne muscular dystrophy squash his love sports.
Canada has unveiled a new AI policy. Monday on Your Morning, local officials react to the artificial intelligence document and how it could impact you.
Welcome back. We're going to take a look at what your forecast is looking like heading into the weekend. And for many parts, especially southeast, it's going to be getting a little wet, and we'll see that in your tracker coming up shortly. Now, in terms of today, though, it was a pleasant day in much of Saskatchewan. We are starting to see some severe thunderstorm watches issued for the west, and that is due to a system that's coming in from Alberta, and I'll show you that in a second as well. Currently, we're sitting at 25 degrees in Regina, winds around 20, but gusting closer to 30. We did warm up to 26 degrees. This is where we're seeing the severe thunderstorm watches. You can see the system that is essentially coming right in from Alberta. It's not a warning, they are watches. With those watches, though, the development of these severe thunderstorms coming through the area would also possibly have some large hail, high winds, and heavy rainfall. But as we head into this evening, we will start to see that system we're going to see it move in later this evening, but that's going to continue heading northeast. And by the time it gets further up north, we're going to see it basically weaken, breaking up into more so just rain rather than any type of storm activity heading up that way. And as we head into tomorrow morning, some scattered precipitation in southern Saskatchewan. Regina could see some light rainfall first thing in the morning before we're left with mostly a mix of sun and cloud throughout the day. But it isn't until we get into late afternoon where we start to see some more storm cells coming through. So just north of Regina, making its way into the Wynyard area, and then further up into the Hudson Bay area. Yorkton seeing some storm activity by late afternoon tomorrow as well. And that's just the beginning for the southeast, because later on we see the development of some more of these storm cells coming through. And that does include heavy rainfall, high winds. There's also the possibility of some hail, but there is also a risk of the development of some tornadoes coming through that area. So that is starting tomorrow night. I shouldn't say tomorrow night, tomorrow evening. Continuing into the overnight, you can see a lot of development there, and it is just north of Estevan. It's hard to see. There's some darker dots within that red area. That's where we start to see the possibility of the development of some tornadoes in those areas in particular. So if you don't need to be out tomorrow night, especially on the roads or anything like that, maybe just stay in for a night. Keep an eye on Environment and Climate Change Canada for any weather warnings that will pop up, because we also know with systems like this, it has a tendency of developing quite quickly. And again, you can see by Saturday night, we're not done with that with the storm systems coming through the southeast. So I'm going to show you what we can expect for rainfall totals coming up here shortly. But this weekend is just the beginning, because as we head into the beginning of the week and middle of the week, we've got a lot of rain coming through Saskatchewan. So between now and tomorrow morning, you can see the north. That is that system that has those watches in effect for us this evening. By Sunday morning, close to 50 millimeters of rain, and then by the time we get into Monday, over 60 millimeters of rain is expected for Estevan, over 5 for Regina, 15 for Moose Jaw, 10 for Yorkton, 6 for Maple Creek, Swift Current seeing up to 12. Temperatures, though, remaining above seasonal, if not within that seasonal range. The southwest, basically, we're seeing 20-degree temperatures right across Saskatchewan tomorrow. Really, really warm in the southeast. 31 for Weyburn, 33 for Estevan, 24 for Assiniboine, and for us in Regina, 12 tonight, 27 is what we're warming up to tomorrow. Expecting a little bit of showers first thing tomorrow morning, but by Sunday we could see about 2 to 4 millimeters of rain. 23 is the expected high. Monday, high winds gusting to 60. 21 is the expected high. Tuesday night, expecting another 2 to 4 millimeters. By Wednesday, up to 40 millimeters of rain is what we're expecting all day Wednesday, and then Thursday another 10 millimeters of rain expected. Temperatures cooling off by the time we get to the end of next week, where we're sitting in the mid to high teens. So there's a lot expected this weekend when it comes to active weather, Lee. A lot of rain, but yes, keep your eyes in that extreme southeast part of Saskatchewan tomorrow. Exactly. All right, thank you. You bet. A Prince Albert fifth grader is bringing attention to Special Olympics as a youth ambassador. Jasmine Pelche tells us the story, of Riker.
This 10-year-old floorball player is stepping into the spotlight to help raise money for Special Olympics Canada. Riker Evanishan Menzies became involved with Special Olympics when he was only 8, after he was diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, a condition that causes progressive muscle weakness.
It was hard when Riker was first diagnosed, and just being put into that community of everybody that's so supportive. He has been welcomed into this community now, and everybody's just been so great.
Riker hasn't let the diagnosis get in the way of his love for sports, and he joined a Special Olympics floorball team as the youngest player.
It's helped his confidence a lot, just being able to contribute and make a difference in his sport.
The floorball athlete was approached by his coach, who thought he might be a good fit as a youth ambassador for Special Olympics. Riker has had some highlights playing with the team.
Scoring goals, playing against the Raiders.
His family was familiar with Special Olympics before Riker's diagnosis because his dad had played some friendly games against a Special Olympics team, so they decided to let Riker give it a shot.
We tried it out a few times, loved it. Found out he gets to play against different teams like the Raiders, the Bears, the Mintos, and sometimes the Firefighters, hey? So he really enjoyed it, and he played against the police once. So then we just kind of officially signed him up.
Outside of floorball season, Riker also enjoys baseball and football. As an ambassador, the 5th grader's picture will go up in local grocery stores to draw attention to fundraising efforts to support teams like Riker's through Special Olympics Canada. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Still ahead, a former Moose Jaw Warrior continues to shine on Stanley Cup playoff nights.
Here's what's happening in our community. Assiniboia garage and yard sales happening on June 6th throughout Assiniboia. For more information, you can call 306-640-8800. And the Pony Express on the Prairies is happening June 6th at 10 a.m., starting in the town of Francis and ending in Fillmore. For more details, call 306-861-7136. Submit your event to our community by visiting our website, ctvregina.ca, and click Community Calendar or scan the QR code on your screen.
Former Moose Jaw Warrior continues to light it up in the NHL playoffs.
Carolina, by contrast, has been a fast-starting team. Here's Howden. He scores!
Brett Howden scored twice last night in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final versus Carolina. Now leads the postseason with 13 goals. That's more than he scored in the regular season. However, wouldn't be enough as Seth Jarvis would score in overtime on a power play, giving the Hurricanes a 4-3 win, tying the series at 1. Game 3 goes Saturday night in Vegas. CFL season kicked off last night as Hamilton played host to the Alouettes, a game that needed overtime.
Swinging it off to the left. It is caught by Carrick. Wheatfall. Ball comes out. It's Montreal's football.
Oh, it's so Hamilton. Carrick Wheatfall fumble on Hamilton's OT possession would be costly. Montreal would kick a short field goal to win 30-27. Alouettes receiver Tyler Snead had quite the game. 9 catches, 163 yards and a touchdown. Tonight, Calgary hosts the Blue Bombers at McMahon. WCBL action last night. The Moose Jaw Miller Express were derailed by the provincial powerhouse known as the Saskatoon Berries.
So good wheels on him as he shoots one down the third baseline, past the third baseman Wallachek, coming around and coming in to score.
7 runs in the first 2 innings, enough for the Berries to stave off a Miller Express comeback as Saskatoon beat Moose Jaw 7-5. Berries have won 5 of their first 6 games. Other scores, Regina lost 6-1 to Medicine Hats. Swift Current's game versus Weyburn was suspended in the 9th due to rain, with the Beavers up 16-13. All 5 Sask teams are back at it tonight. And the Canadian men's soccer team have hit the pitch in Montreal for their final World Cup pre-competition game versus Ireland. Yeah, an emotional Max Crepeau, the starting goaltender, playing in front of his hometown. And so far, the team's given fans something to cheer about. Off the corner here, the header actually goes off one of the Irish players for an own goal. It is currently 1-0 Canada at halftime. Still ahead, Saskatchewan's job market took a hit last month.
Welcome back. We're going to take a look at your rural forecast tomorrow. We can expect to see quite a bit of rain coming through parts of the province, but we're still looking at temperatures within seasonal range, if not a little warmer, and more cloud cover. 22 degrees and mostly cloudy for Melfort and Outlook, and a mix of sun and cloud in 22 for Watrous. Mostly cloudy for Spiritwood and Wynyard at 21 degrees. Mainly sunny for Meadow Lake at 21. 19 and cloudy for Kindersley. 19 and a mix of sun and cloud for Lloydminster and Hudson Bay. Expecting some showers tomorrow. 24 is the expected high. Closer to the southern border, same story. A little warmer though for the southeast, where we are expecting to see a little bit more severe weather coming through that area. 31 for Carlisle tomorrow. 27 risk of thunderstorm for Broadview. 23 new risk of thunderstorm for Kenora. 27 and cloudy for Pilot Butte, Lumsden, and over in the southwest, 19 for Maple Creek and East End Cypress, and cloudy conditions. A closer look at Govan, located about 110 kilometers north of Regina. 25 tomorrow. Mix of sun and cloud, and the winds to 25 kilometers an hour.
Saskatchewan's job market shrunk in May, but unemployment rates are still among the lowest in the country. The May labor force survey from StatsCan shows Saskatchewan lost about 6,100 jobs in May, the worst performance of any province. But Saskatchewan's unemployment rate for the month, just 6.2%. That's third lowest of any province. The national unemployment rate it was 6.6% in May after adding 88,000 jobs. Well, trains could become a bigger part of travel plans in Alberta. The province released its passenger rail master plan with routes connecting Calgary Airport to downtown, Banff, Edmonton, and some nearby communities. Alicia Fieldberg has more.
Travelers at YYC will be able to make a new connection by hopping on a train into Calgary, possibly in the next few years. Rail lines connecting Calgary and Edmonton's airports to their city cores will be the first projects in the province's passenger rail master plan, because that's what Albertans flagged as a priority.
Identifies a passenger rail network that will transform the way Albertans live, work, and travel across our beautiful province.
These sections should be relatively simple to build compared to Alberta's other priority, high-speed rail between Edmonton and Calgary. This part will be built on undeveloped land.
Highway 2 is so busy and it's so congested, and it just makes sense.
Alberta's 30-year passenger rail plan took 2 years to create and provides the momentum many have been hoping for.
We'll ensure Albertans and Calgarians have this easy access to the airport, while also providing the same accessibility to visitors and business travelers.
Also part of the plan, feeder trains to communities including Airdrie and Cochrane, and a train between Calgary and Banff. A private group proposed building this section at no cost to the province if the government builds the rail between the airport and Calgary core.
I would say the gun has gone off now, and so that's about 5 years. So we should be able to have people running in 2031.
If their proposal goes through, he says passengers might be able to ride the train to Banff for about $20 to $30 or splurge $200 to $300 for business class.
I mean, everything over in Banff is pretty walkable, so I feel like the need for a car isn't really necessary unless you're going from Calgary to there. So, yeah, I feel like that'd be a pretty good idea.
The province says the airport train would connect to Calgary's Blue Line LRT extension. Alberta's full passenger rail vision could cost at least $60 billion. Over the next 3 years, the province plans to spend $15 million moving the project forward.
The funding will also support initial planning for a central station in downtown Calgary. This vision for a passenger rail station would connect to a future Calgary event center.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
Farm markets, canola street price down $12.50 to $750, 5 cents per ton, with a futures price, man, down $25.20 to $757 per ton. Some big drops there. Street price of amber durum wheat, $285, 20 cents per ton. Red spring wheat's down 67 cents to $270, 20 cents per ton. Feed barley, $261, 21 cents per ton. And flax is $630, 54 cents per ton. Those prices courtesy of Bunge and Ice Futures Canada. The markets both on the way down. down. A TSX dropped by 803 points. The Dow Jones by 695 points. The Canadian dollar dropped almost 0.2 cents to 71.75 cents U.S. Commodities, everything going down. Gold down $146. West Texas Intermediate crude down $2.50, while Western Canadian Select crude dropped by almost $2. So gas in Regina, it's not being changed yet. We'll keep an eye on it, though. It's sitting at $1.65.9 per liter. Right after the newscast, spring break madness.
That's a good one. I've seen it. It's great.
Crime scene investigators at 8, then Boston Blue, Big Bang Theory, E-Talk, and then we've got a couple of news. You've seen spring break murders? What happens?
I'm not going to ruin it.
Spoiler alert, there's murders.
There's a murder.
In the spring break. The King of Rock lives on. A Regina man has gone all out, paying tribute to one of the biggest musical acts of the 20th century.
Jesse Lamont has got the sound, the moves, and the style down to the last emerald bead. Less than a decade ago, Lamont found his love for singing and has since evolved as a performer, focusing on the King's Las Vegas era.
If you come out to do an Elvis tribute show, you want to present the full package. So I've spent a whole lot of time in front of a mirror with a phone in my hand, trying to get the shoulders right and trying to get the leg right, and studying the moves and what he does in his shows, and really appropriately fitting that into what I do.
Backed by a 17-piece band, the act is scheduled to perform this weekend at the Connexus Arts Center. Wow.
His mom makes the outfits, too.
Wow.
That's got to take a while.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, the winner of the largest Lotto 649 jackpot in Manitoba's history came forward to collect his big check this week.
Earl Giesbrecht is $46 million richer, bought the winning ticket from the May 16th Lotto 649 gold ball draw from a grocery store. The 70-year-old told CTV how he felt the moment he realized he won.
My thoughts went to my children underway and my grandchildren, that I would help them in life. That's more important, my children, than anything else.
Giesbrecht plans to use his winnings to help out his children, as mentioned, pay off his ex-wife's mortgage.
What?
And maybe consider retiring. He's only semi-retired right now. His advice to wannabe winners is simple. Buy a ticket.
That's a good man.
Gonna help the ex-wife.
Wow.
Maybe it won't be ex afterwards. Who knows? She'll be like, I want back. Maybe not. I don't know. Don't know what the dynamic is. What would you do if you won $46 million?
I don't even know. That sounds like a lot. You know, when you get that's a scary amount.
That is a scary amount.
What would you do? Real quick.
I'll tell you right now, you'd want to watch the day that I won on this program. It'd be worth the admission.